got it all wrong. I don't know what you're doing or what you think you're doing, but you've optimized your entire life for the wrong thing. You've gotten good at the wrong thing. You see, life isn't just about being an entrepreneur. Life isn't just about being a bodybuilder. Life isn't just about being a nutritionist, about being a doctor, about giving your life time to making millions of dollars. It's about more than that. It's about living the good life. People think the good life is entrepreneurial, or it's bodybuilding, or it's looking like a Greek goddess. I mean, do you have some mental problem, as Tai Lopez says? Do you live and breathe and die to lift up and put down raw iron? Do you want to lick it too while you're at it? Are you mentally delusional? Get real, people. It sucks when people spend their entire lives getting good at the wrong thing. Optimize for the good life, not the one life. There's health, there's wealth, there's love, and there's happiness. There's 4 pillars to living the good life, and when you optimize strictly for one of them, your house crumbles and you fall down and you die. You see, I've spent the entire last year and a half optimizing for one thing: wealth. To create wealth. That's all I've really wanted to do, to get $1 million in 100 days, to get $1 million by June 1st. I've let go of my happiness, about my love. I've let go of my health. I don't exercise as hard or as strong as I'd like to. Life is like a beam. It's like a balance beam. You let one weight fall too heavy and everything tips over. You're going to be in equilibrium, or is your house going to stand strong, or are you going to allow everything to tip? Stand on one pillar. I'm going to teach you today how to optimize for the 4 things: the health, the wealth, the love, and the happiness. It's really common sense, but a lot of people don't make it common sense, and I'm going to include a little bit of a bonus at the end of this video to give you a little breakdown of my day, how I do all 4 things at the end of the day, and making sure that everything comes together to give me a little bit of a yay. So we're starting with health. Health would include any part of your body. That would include fitness, that would include nutrition, that would include making sure that you're doing things properly. Now, I think the good life isn't necessarily the perfect life, because there is no perfection. And if you're going to be perfect at one thing, you can't be perfect at everything. You can get good at one thing, you can't get good at everything. So you wouldn't want to strive to have the best abs in the room or the best body in the room. You want to have a good body. You want to be lean. You want to be tight. You want to make sure that you're physically able to move your joints, able to move your fingers, able to move your legs, able to hike, to bike, to swim, to run, to do the things that you should do well into your late years, to make sure that you're maintaining a good nutrition and not eating that cake every single night or that ice cream every single night when it's not a treat. When it becomes a problem, it becomes a trait instead of a treat. There's health, there's wealth. Wealth, a lot of us spend the majority of our lives in a career, which is okay because we need money as a tool to support our life, to support our wife, to support everything that goes around us. So maybe this takes up a little more time. It doesn't have to be perfectly balanced, but spend time in this area for sure. Maybe for you that's being an employee, but for me it's an employer. I want to be a business owner. I want to have money to fund my vacations, my fun, my family, my friends. But I'd much rather take $100 million as opposed to $2 billion with a B, especially if I can be lean, fit, and strong with $100 million, and if I wanted to get the billion, I needed to be fat and ugly. And I mean, Tai Lopez says that there's people on his road that might have higher net worths, but do they have the good life? There's a point when adding another 0 to your net worth ceases to add any more pleasure or any more benefit to you. Maybe it makes it look good when you're in a room speaking about it, but can you even, really enjoy it? Like, if you're going to be a billionaire, you need to understand that you got to sacrifice a lot of time and energy to get there. You're sacrificing relationships, you're sacrificing health, you're sacrificing love, and ultimately you're left with wealth. You can buy the boat, you can buy the plane, you can buy the yacht, you can buy everything you could have ever imagined, but who's going to be on those toys? Is it just going to be you, or are you just going to be the only person enjoying the view? Otherwise, I wouldn't want to be on that plane with you. My friend, one of my mentors, said, hey, look, I was on a $40 million yacht the other day. I went down to Miami, but the only thing I wanted to do when I was down there is be with my wife. No money could buy that feeling of being loved, of being appreciated. Much rather would have had my wife than to have this miraculous life. So there's health, there's wealth, there's love. Love would be the relationships that you have with people. Understand that you can't buy relationships, and if you think you can, you're delusional. Stop lying to yourself and start to understand that it's a little bit harder than you think. Start building relationships that matter. Stop breaking relationships that actually mean something to you. Preserve relationships that help you grow. Making sure that you optimize time in your day to make sure that you're spending time with loved ones. Building relationships with family and not losing them. For a while in my life, I gave up all my relationships in the short term, thinking that I'd get them in the long term. But I realized if I get rid of a relationship now, if I burn the bridge, it's going to be hard to rebuild. Keep the relationships, people. Build new ones. Spend time doing this. It's important. Health, wealth, love, and then finally happiness. This happiness can be spiritual. It can be personal. I prefer it to be a little bit of both. To be religious and spiritual. I do yoga in the morning. I meditate. I make sure to have a good relationship with my God. I have some books back there on how to do that. I mean, everybody has happiness in a different way. Make sure you're consuming content, a little bit of entertainment once in a while. Relax and let the hair down and let the breeze flow. You live on this planet once. Why be so disciplined and be so rigid? People like Gary Vaynerchuk are saying, "Whoa, you can't work as hard as me." Well, guess what, pal? Are you living the good life or are you living the poor man's life? You bust your ass all the time. You're probably busting your health and you're probably busting your relationships as well. Are you even happy? Look, I tried the hustle culture. It leads to two things. It leads to burnout and depression. Burnout because you can't work any harder, and depression because you've lost everything. It's a delusion. It's an illusion. Especially when you're working hard and you're not knowing which direction you're going in. Half the time when you're hustling, you're going in the wrong direction. You're going away from where you want to be. We want the good life. The good life is over here. And when you're over here, it's hard to see where you're going because you're so far away from it seems. Until you realize that these two balls are on the same plane. It's just the way that you look at it and you're on a perspective plane. You see, they are the same thing. They are one and the same until you take a different perception of it. You say, no, they're not. They're not the same thing, but they are. And so if you're over here and you're trying to get over here and you're hustling, but all of a sudden you're going up here because you don't know how to get there. You're hustling. You're doing the right thing, but you're not hustling in the right direction. You should instead hustle to see the synergy between the two things. Or hustle to get the life that you want. Hustle to get the wealth. To build the toys and to build the experience, but also build the relationship. Hustle to keep your relationships intact. Hustle to get your health in shape. Hustle to make sure you're happy. Don't hustle just to hustle. Don't hustle just to be an entrepreneur. Don't hustle just to outwork somebody or to prove to somebody that you're a hard worker. Because that's going to leave you dead and tired in the ditch. Depressed. Because on the way to hustling, you drop off everything you've got. When I hustled during the 100 days, I thought I was amazing. You know, I thought I was really doing something special. I met some cool people. I met some awesome relationships. Don't get me wrong there. But I certainly was hustling my friends away. I was hustling my life away. I was hustling my freedom and my choice away. I was so disciplined and rigid in that space. It was a period of growth for sure. It was a period of being in the ring. Being an animal. But ask yourself, is it worth it? I've done it. Trust me. You can too. It'll only be a matter of time before you sit there and complain because it's too much for you. Alright. So the next part of this video that I want to kind of go over is my own daily routine. Because I think my routine can be implemented in your routine, and ever since I've come upon this realization that the good life is a four-way street, that I started to design my life in that four-way street. So we have three sections of my life. We have the morning, we have the day, we have the evening over here. So the morning is primarily focused on making sure that I focus on me. It's me time. That would be tackling the happiness. That would be tackling the love with myself. So, and also the health. So, in the morning, I set 1 hour to do exercise, to do fitness-related stuff, and then I go into yoga and meditation, and then I spend the last quarter of that time between 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. reading. This is nothing about finance. This is nothing about work. This is merely about building a spiritual connection with myself, reading a positive thing or listening to a positive audio. The next part is the work day. It's the career day. It is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a hard hustle towards my goals. My financial well-being, my financial wealth creation. That is what that time is used for. This is reading financial books, doing financial courses, prospecting clients, doing meetings with people, trying to build a company, writing in my book, doing my podcasts, uploading my YouTube videos, anything that can be monetized or used as a spoken wheel concept to build me more revenue. Once I hit 6 p.m., the laptop closes, I leave the office, and I go downstairs to spend time with my family and friends. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is friend time. It is family time. I go on walks with my family. I do talks with my family. Spend that time being with my family. With that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely excited that you stuck around for the entirety of this episode. I hope that you found it beneficial. I hope that you got some love and excitement out of it. And please, don't be delusional. Love yourself and be true to yourself. I will see you all in the next episode. Peace out.